God, it would seem, likes to do the impossible. God likes to do things beyond what is possible, and sometimes seemingly contrary to what is possible, but really it's really beyond, as opposed to contrary, although we are confused by that sometimes. For instance, God appeared to Moses, not in visible form, but in the figure of a burning bush. The bush was burning, and yet it was not being consumed by the flame. This is not possible. We would say that we might be tempted to say, well, it's contrary to logic, it's contrary to the nature of things, but it's actually better to say that it's above the nature of things as opposed to contrary. Normally, fire consumes. Except when God enkindles a fire and he doesn't have it be, he has the fuel be itself and not the bush. Likewise, with respect to Our Lady, normally a young girl is either a mother or she is a virgin, but she can't be both. Except in this case, she is both a virgin and a mother, like the fire that consumes not. One of the fathers of the church points out that Our Lady at the time, because it had been 500 years since the time of Daniel, and he predicted that the Christ would come 500 years later, there was an expectation, there was a heightened expectation that the Christ would appear. And all the young girls at the time were being prepped. You might be the mother of the Christ. Your son might be the anointed one. But Our Lady had taken a vow of chastity, celibacy. She had taken a vow of virginity. So of all the young girls at that time, all the Jews expecting the Christ, all the young girls who might expect there's a possibility that I might be the mother of the anointed one, the Messiah. Our Lady could feel quite sure that it was not going to be her. She had given up that possibility by taking her vow of virginity. And Joseph likewise had given up that possibility by likewise taking a vow of virginity with her as her husband. Of all the couples in Israel, Mary and Joseph were guaranteed, humanly speaking, not to be the parents of the Messiah. Except they exactly were the ones chosen. Mary to be the natural mother of the human nature of the second person of the Blessed Trinity, and Joseph being the foster father. God likes to do things that might appear to be contrary to nature, but actually are above nature. While nature says you can't be this and that at the same time, God says, watch me. God becomes incarnate. God, who is by his nature not visible, chose to become a man and become visible. God, who is of his nature to us incomprehensible, became a man and was decidedly comprehensible. God, who in his nature is impassible, cannot suffer, took on our human nature and suffered his whole life. God, who in his very nature is omnipotent, decided to become a man and to hide his power, for the most part, He was the creator of the universe, but to look at him walking down the streets of Palestine, you would never have thought so. He was hiding his power. God, who was the life itself, decided to become a man and to suffer death in his human nature. God was doing the impossible. God, the second person of the Blessed Trinity, never left heaven. He was always with the Father and the Holy Ghost. The three persons of the Blessed Trinity cannot be separated one from another. And yet, he came to earth at the same time. And this for our salvation. He was the creator of the Blessed Virgin Mary being the pinnacle of his creation, and yet she became his mother. It's impossible. And yet he willed it to happen. It's above the realm of human possibility, but not the realm of, beyond the realm of possibility for God. The Pharisees, we read this week in their gospel, our Lord said to them, after they picked up stones to throw at him, he said, well, I'm mashing two conversations together, but the idea is the same. They pick up stones to throw at him, and he said, for which of the good works that I have done are you going to stone me? And they said, for none of the good works that you have done are we going to stone you. We are going to stone you because of your blasphemy, because you, being a man, have made yourself God. You, being a man, have made yourself God. He never said that. No man can make himself God. They're right about that. They were actually correct about something. That part they were correct about, except it didn't apply to him. He was God and he made himself man, not the other way around. Of course. Of course. They never considered the fact that God could make himself man. But they accused him, a man, of making himself God. It's not what he did. God has chosen to do the impossible. In terms of our human understanding, he's gone beyond the realm of our possibility and done what is wonderful in our sight. This God who wanted to prove, who had an incomprehensible love for mankind, wanted to prove this incomprehensible love by becoming man and dying for our sins. He, the innocent victim, taking on the guilt of our sins. He, the one who deserves to be served, deciding to become our lowest servant and to serve. It's impossible, and yet he chose to do it. And then another impossibility, of course, that again, we recount this past week in the gospel readings. Our Lord said to them, the Pharisees, it says in your law, behold, we have become gods, small g gods. If it says in your law that you can become gods, why do you marvel at what I teach? It's already in the law. And the very impossibility for us then, our Lord has done impossible things, and now he invites us into that same realm of impossibility. We are to become temples ourselves of God. We are to become like unto him. God loves with a divine love, and we are to love with a divine love too, as if we were God. But we're not God. God wants to dwell in us as if we were divine, the bearer of divinity. But we're not the bearer of divinity except God wills it to happen. God wills us to be assumed into his own impossibilities. And that by means of the incarnation. These things are wonderful in our eyes, and we need to marvel at them. Because we can, in our own limitation, we can kind of make the whole story of our salvation a kind of dull affair. It's anything but dull. We are being invited into the greatest drama that there is. And that is the greatest, we might call it a fantasy. Because it's greater than any science fiction, it's greater than any literature, it is the greatest story. Filled with impossibilities. And we're not just witnessing the story or reading a novel or watching a play. We're characters in the story. Essential characters for ourselves and in God's mind. For all of us have been created by this same Messiah who was incarnate in the womb of the Blessed Virgin Mary. That same incarnate God is our creator. And we are created not just as a nameless face in a crowd. We are created by name. And we are redeemed by name. And we have been given a mother by name. And God is our Father, and he knows our name, and our place in heaven has been prepared for us by name. This wonderful story is ours. But this whole realm of impossibility began in a quiet conversation between the angel Gabriel and this little girl who was the Immaculate Conception, who had found favor with God, and who agreed to be his mother, the Mother of God, who agreed to be overshadowed by the Holy Ghost and to be overshadowed by God the Father and to become the mother of God the Son, who agreed to be the Queen of Israel for all time, and who agreed to be the mother of all the living. The impossibilities she was caught up into and agreed with them, and her response was, "Behold the handmaid of the Lord, be it done unto me according to your word." God love you. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Please stand for the creed.